Dodger Trolls, welcome. Padres fall, lose the series in LA. First series lost by the Padres to the Dodgers this year. They win the season series 8 games to 5, but the Dodgers, for the 11th time in 12 years, have won the National League West. And now the Padres head for Arizona. They need, well, theoretically, they need to get a game. They have a magic number of 2 to clinch the top wildcard spot in the National League. 1 win and 1 loss from a team behind them, either Atlanta or New York. Actually, New York, excuse me. And they will host that first round wild card series. So there's some scenarios for the Padres that can play out. They should be the top wild card in the National League. They will not be NL West champions. Dodgers storm back with that huge 5-run 7th inning. Joe Musgrove was great until the blip there in the 7th inning, and then the bullpen really unraveled. The Padres just offensively did not have any answer after the early offense in this game. So John and Jim with you here on the wrap-up show on this Thursday evening. Subscribe, smash the like button, follow us on X at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Please support the channel. You can click the $ below the chat box. We'll get to all of your super chats here tonight. If you want to see your comment on screen, if you want to control the direction of the conversation, click that $ below the chat box. We do appreciate it. You can become a member by clicking join down below. I mean, we talked for 3 hours today, Jim, on the show, saying that, I mean, this is a really improbable scenario for the Padres to still win the West. And what was supposed to happen basically happened. They weren't going to win the West no matter what they did tonight. In all likelihood, it's the double whammy because the Dodgers win it. They celebrate on their home field against you. And now you move on to that Arizona series and hopefully can wipe the slate clean, forget about losing this series in LA, and continue to be the team you've been in the second half moving forward.
Yeah, part of me is disappointed. Right? Like,
yeah, it should be.
Yeah, you should be disappointed. They had a chance. They had they controlled their own destiny. And that would have been like, winning 6 straight it'd be tough, but they had that opportunity in their hands. They got the win Tuesday night, played a hard-fought game last night. They didn't win, and tonight kind of just unraveled there in the 7th. And like the last 2 nights, truthfully, John, hasn't looked like the Padres team that we've been watching for the second half.
I would agree with that.
Offensively, not great. Pitching has not been crisp. Last night, the 6 walks. Tonight, the 7th inning just imploded on them. I'm glad that Yuki Matsui's still on this team. Didn't know he was still on this team. But I just think that, while it does suck and it is disappointing that once again the Dodgers win the division 11th time in the last 12 years, you have to reset, go win a game in Arizona. You will then, I think, lock up the 4, or it depends on what the Mets do. No, it does. I'm so fucking
they have a magic number of 2.
Mets series.
They need a Mets loss and a win to clinch the 4 seed, or 2 Mets losses. The Mets play 5 times. They could absolutely lose twice, but They need either 2 Mets losses or 1 Padres win and 1 Mets loss, or 2 Padres wins.
All right, just go lock up the 4 seed however you get it done. Get ready for Tuesday. And we know, I mean, everybody knows that in baseball now it's shifted to where winning a division title is great, but if you don't, win in the postseason, if you're that division winner, it's like, what happened here? And now it's shifted to, you can go win a World Series as a wild card team. You can do that. We've seen it. We've seen teams go to the World Series playing in wild card weekend. It's not like there's a huge disadvantage there, and the whole goal is to get in the postseason and have the best chance to do that. And right now, the Padres are sitting pretty if they lock up the 4 seed.
Yeah, I mean, I think like 2 things can be true: that they've had a really great second half, and then secondly, while the National League is wide open, that does not make any of this easy in terms of what is to come. And we knew it. Well, I didn't think anyone really thought it wouldn't be. I mean, it was never going to be a cakewalk through teams like the Dodgers or the Phillies, or even in the wild card round, even as a home team. I mean, I don't know how quote unquote easy it's going to be, whether it's the Braves, Mets, or Diamondbacks. So, I think the same thing still holds true. I said it today on John and Jim. The Padres at no point all season long, including yesterday before the game, were the favorite to win the NL West. They did not go into yesterday's game, 2 games back with 5 to play, as a favorite to win the National League West. They were the underdog and still had to, pull a rabbit out of their hat, so to speak, to win the division. You can't allow not accomplishing this goal to later accomplish the ultimate goal. So you have to turn the page. Like, it's as simple as that. And, this weekend for me probably isn't the greatest indicator either. They don't have to play their best baseball this weekend, but they do come Tuesday. So, I think there's questions, truthfully. And all teams probably have questions. I mean, look at Freddie Freeman. So all teams have questions. But, the bullpen thing is a little dicey right now because they've maxed out these leverage dudes. And now you're like, well, is it because they've been worked a lot, or are they just – is it just a blip for guys like Tanner Scott and Robert Suarez, or is it something beyond that? I think for Suarez, it's beyond that. What's the deal with Hassan Kim? Are they going to try to activate him this weekend? What does that mean? Donovan Solano hasn't hit. Does that mean his opportunity is kind of come and gone when the postseason starts in terms of being in that lineup? So, I mean, I do think they have some like legitimate questions. I think they're good enough, but it feels like they have more questions today than what we were saying 48 hours ago, probably when they won game 1 of this series.
Yeah, the last 2 nights, like I said, they've not looked like the same team the last 2 nights. They've been playing such great baseball. It's only their 3rd series loss of the second half, right? 3rd.
Yeah.
First time they've lost a series to the Dodgers this year. Maybe it's get it out of the way, right? Because if you took a series from the Dodgers and you never lost a series from the Dodgers this season, and then you meet them again in the division round, and they they beat you, like, it's just, you know what I mean? Like, we've seen those things happen where in 2022 Dodgers owned the Padres in the regular season, and then postseason came along and the script was flipped. But I think first things first, you need to play some better baseball. I feel like at least start, heading into the postseason. If they clinch on Saturday, if they clinch tomorrow night, a 4 seed, then I'm fine with Saturday and Sunday being completely nothing burgers. Like, I'm cool with that. But playing better baseball starting tomorrow, I think it's kind of key. Like, guys are slumping right now. Luis Ariz is slumping. Donovan Solano's in a slump. Jake Cronenworth had that big home run, but overall he's in a big slump. And you're right. The back end of this bullpen has been taxed. Tanner Scott did not look sharp tonight. I was kind of surprised they went to Tanner Scott in that situation in the 7th. I'm also kind of surprised that they didn't keep Joe out there to finish the 7th. I know he gave the home run, but he was only at 85 pitches and he was pitching great. Made 1 mistake.
I think he made 2 mistakes.
Because
I mean, the walk. How many times last week have I said like the walk is more consequential? And not just the walk. Truthfully, he fell behind Will Smith 3-1.
Yep, that's
so
right.
You issue a walk and then you fall behind a good hitter 3-1. And I'm seeing people in the chat saying, like, why does Joe start the 7th inning? He has to start the 7th inning. He goes 6 shutout innings. He's throwing 70 pitches. I mean, so of course he's – and why does he get to face Smith after the walk? Because he's working on a shutout and he hasn't thrown 80 pitches. So he absolutely earned the right to be pitching in that spot. They didn't lose this game because of Joe Musgrove. I promise you that. No. They lost this game because, well, they failed to capitalize with men in scoring position again early. You're not going to win games at Dodger Stadium scoring 2 runs unless you're masterful. You're looking for unbelievably good pitching performances. Their team is too good to just score 2 runs against and expect to win. Their offense is historically good, or has the potential to be historically good. So let's just be honest with each other. You got to capitalize. The offense has to be better. And if Joe Musgrove going 6+ innings, allowed 2 runs is the problem, that's not the problem, because you're asking a lot of any of your starters. If you face the Dodgers in the postseason to be going 6+ innings and allowing 2 runs or less, you got to have another formula to beat LA. And that formula's got to be score and then hold the lead with your bullpen. That's the formula.
Our producer that we don't pay any money to, Darnay Tripp, one of our producers we paid no money to, tweeted this out a couple minutes ago. Padres with runners in scoring position. In the series, they were 3 for 25. Not good. The last 10 games, they're 14 for 75, a 186 average. And this season, they're hitting 273 with runners in scoring position. So,
which is really good.
Yeah, and truthfully, sweeping the White Sox, yeah, great, but they didn't look all that good that series. I mean, it was a close series, to be honest with you. It wasn't like they won each game 7-2, 5-0, 6-1. Like those games could have gone either way, truthfully. So yeah, the offense now heading into the final series of the year, getting ready for the postseason, like got to pick it up a little bit. I mean, Luis Ariz is just he's just not right now. It feels like. I mean, his average is now dipped. He might lose out on the batting title because Marcelo Ozuna is right on his tail.
Yep.
So is Ohtani, who like just decides he's never going to get out ever again. And then you got some other guys in the lineup that are really struggling and they're not hitting with runners in scoring position. And the bullpen is not as dominant, or you're not as confident in them now as you may were a couple weeks ago. And I mean, there's questions for sure. I still feel confident about the team. Like they have the right pieces in place. Like I'm not saying that I'm like off the ship, but
it's not time to overreact. I mean, any one series is that one. They play dozens of series over the course of a year, and they've beaten good teams in series like LA. And they've also had some setbacks along the way, although they've been few and far between here in the second half. All right, let's get to some of the super chats. If you're here, please subscribe. Postseason baseball for the Padres will start in less than 1 week. In fact, in 5 days on Tuesday at Petco Park. Opponent TBD, time TBD. Hopefully it's at Petco Park. They still have to lock that up. Hopefully this weekend. But if you're here, please subscribe. We're with you, obviously, in season, out of season, postseason, year-round Padres content. And thank you for the super chats like this one from Evan to get us started. Just click the $ below the chat box. And we appreciate you, Evan. He says, offense is struggling at a bad time. They've looked flat since the Astros series. We need them to mash this weekend in Arizona. Well, it's a launching pad. So hopefully that does happen. Secondly, in regards to them being flat since the Astros series, I mean, again, like there's going to be that high-low effect that goes on over the course of 162. I don't think I'm going to be saying come next Tuesday that the offense is incapable of doing what they need to do to win in the postseason. I think the offense, coupled with the rotation, coupled with the bullpen, that's enough. Like, but what they do need to do, to everyone's collective point, and maybe Evan sitting on this, is you have to hit in the clutch. If they've hit over the last 10 games, like you said, Jim, under 200 in the clutch, you're asking for trouble. It's going to be very hard. You're going to need elite pitching. You're going to have to hit in the clutch. And that's easier said than done, especially in the postseason when everything ramps up.
Like we've seen before teams kind of limp into the postseason, into the wild card round, and then go on this run.
A million.
I mean, how many times does that happen? It happened as recently as
the Rangers
last year. They've lost out on the division, and they were stumbling over themselves into the postseason. They had to go play on the road against Tampa Bay, and then they proceeded to just rip off like 9 in a row or something. I mean, it was incredible. So if you're not playing your quote unquote best baseball heading into the postseason, it's easy. I mean, it's not the end of the world, because we've seen so many teams not playing their best baseball heading into the postseason and then turn it on and play really good. I mean, it's not ideal, that's for sure. I mean, you would love to see this team be hot, but we've even seen teams that are hot going into the postseason and then lose. It's kind of like a science that you can't explain. Like there's no formula to explain any of it. It's just, you gotta come up with clutch hits in the postseason. You gotta make good pitches. You got to capitalize on moments, and got to play some sound fundamental baseball. And
I mean,
part of that is not walking people.
Yeah, I mean, like let's dissect the seventh for a second. And thank you, Evan. We'll get to these. I mean, seventh inning includes walks, catcher's interference, overthrows, missing cutoff men. Against LA, more than enough to lose. You do it in a postseason game, you'll lose the same way you lost tonight. The 6 walks yesterday, more than enough to lose. You do it in a postseason game against LA, you'll lose the game. So that's not really the team they've shown to be this year, but it's the team they've been the last 2 days. 2 bad days in the postseason, get you in Cancun. So, that seventh inning was basically everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Leadoff walk with a 2-0 lead, inexcusable. 3-1 pitch to Will Smith, hit over the wall. You go to Tanner Scott. Do you face Ohtani in that spot? I don't see why you don't. First and second, You're going to walk him first and second for Betts, who then later comes through. I think it's mute. I'm all for not facing Ohtani if he doesn't need to be faced, but I can't force the issue and give the Dodgers a higher win probability. Now, is he 10 for his last 11 with men in scoring position? The answer is yes. Is he historically good in the month of September? Yeah, he's had the best month like in the history of the sport. But I mean, you just go walk him with you go force in runs in tie games. I mean, you can't be that ridiculous with it. But I mean, I think if we reconstructed it, or if you asked Mike Schilt to do it again, maybe he would do some different maneuvering to dodge a 5-run inning potentially.
Do you think Tatis is texting Mookie like, "Congrats on the division, bro. That was a fun podcast earlier today."
That was great. Let me know if you want Manny to come on to the podcast tomorrow. We'll get into that later.
I'm sure Manny's lobbying his ass off to get on that podcast. What's up, bro? Bro, you're great. Can I get on, bro? Hey, Xander, is it what? Oh, Xander wants to get on too?
The podcast has nothing to do with the result tonight, but the podcast, and if you don't know what we're talking about, Mookie Betts had Fernando Tatis Jr. on a Bleacher Report podcast today where they were literally recording it this morning and talking about the triple play that clinched the playoffs for the Padres and talking about like the NOS race and whether Tatis swims nude or not. Like, it was the most ridiculous conversation, and it crossed the line of why are stars that are facing each other in the moment in a series with a division undetermined podcasting with each other. It just makes no sense. Vector 53, thank you, man, for the super chat. He says, best to let some guys sit and heal, reset now, in my opinion. I think you got to wait at least a day to get closer to that 4 seed because you can't get cute. Mets have been good, Jim, the last 2 weeks. And if the Mets close, you can't be, dude, can you imagine that? You're going to New York?
Actually, I can't imagine that because that's not even in like my mind right now. Like, that's something that I'm not even, it's like the triple play the other night. I'm not even thinking about it. Like, I'm just thinking about, okay, Tuesday at Petco Park, who are they going to play?
Correct.
Like, that's just what my mind is at. Best case scenario, you win tomorrow night, Mets lose against the Brewers, you lock up the 4, Saturday and Sunday are nothing burgers. And you get that bullpen, top guys, some much needed rest heading into a postseason series on Tuesday, where it's going to be probably Cease, Musgrove, Darvish, because I think Darvish will pitch tomorrow, and that will line him up for game 2 or game 3. Actually, I think that lines him up for game 2 or 3.
Darvish?
Yeah. So if he pitches tomorrow,
he could line up, but you had Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. He could pitch on full rest for game 2. He could.
Right. So Joe and Darvish are lined up for either games 2 or 3.
I would guess it's Joe game 2, Darvish game 3.
Yeah, probably, or the other way around. Doesn't matter. I mean, they're going to figure that. It does matter, yes, but what does matter the most is both of them, regardless of the day, will be on full rest and have an extra day. So
correct.
They'll be ready.
JD Gotcha, thank you, man, for the super chat. Guys, if you're here, please subscribe, and thank you for the super chats. Click the $ below the chat box. He says, as Shaq says, it's about the others. Kike Hernandez, 2 for 2, couple of runs. Pages, 2-run home run. More than just the top 4 hitters in the lineup. I agree with that. I completely agree with that. No great offense is solely top heavy, and I don't care who's at the top of your lineup. And we talk so much about Freeman, Betts, Ohtani. You're like, oh my gosh, but what about the other 6 guys? I mean, you can't solely get by with that. And by the way, the Freeman thing, I don't know what's going to come of it. He's in a boot on crutches in their clubhouse. Now they're going to get a week off, but he suffered a real ankle injury. I don't know the extent of it. Ankle injuries are tricky, and 1 week is not a ton of time to be dealing with an ankle injury. So if nothing else, he's not going to be, fully in the rhythm of a season when he starts his postseason, if he does start it on time in that National League Division Series. And I do think that's a pretty significant story heading into the postseason for LA. And we'll see. Maybe he's okay, or maybe he misses a month of time. I have no idea. But I agree with the general point that the Dodgers lineup is more than just their best 3 hitters. I think that's fair.
I completely agree with that. A couple things here about like the others category.
Mm-hmm.
So, Manny goes 3 for 4 tonight. Bogey has a couple hits, has an RBI. I think did he have 1 double or 2?
He doubled in that 9th inning.
He did. So he had a double tonight and then an RBI single. Luis Ariz, John, is 2 for his last 28.
What was it? 2 for 28 now or 2 for 28 coming into today?
2
Is
for
it 2 for
28
28
now.
through today?
Yeah.
Okay.
With a strikeout, obviously no walks. That's not good.
No, and what he's
Cronenworth,
done.
besides his home run the other day, he's 5 for his last 24. He's 9 for his last 52. And then the bottom of your lineup, Donovan Solano is ice cold. David Peralta, I mean, he's hitting 229 over his last 15 games. Kyle Higashioka's hitting 111 over his last 7, 158 over his last 15. Like,
He hasn't
there
done
are
anything
some.
since June.
No. He had a nice double tonight, and
I know, but you know my general point. My general point is he hasn't done anything in 3 months.
Yeah, but the bigger concern right now is they were 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position tonight. Luis Arise is gone ice cold. Jake Cronenworth's ice cold in the bottom half of your lineup now without Merrill there in your 7 spot it's not good.
It's weakened, and here's the other thing with Arise. He's had all these like bumps and bruises and nicks, right? Slides.
Yeah.
The hand.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's been 3 or 4 of them in his time as a Padre since May. There's been 3, 4 moments where like, oh, he's not right. It might be more than that, truthfully. Moments that have occurred on field. And that's immediately where my mind goes, because when healthy, he hits. Like, there's no question. I don't think the guy slumps when he's fully healthy. He doesn't slump like this. And that scares me because I'm thinking about his overall health. Luis Arise ain't going 2 for 28 this time of year if he's fully healthy. So I think there's something going on there, and that's concerning. The Real Dial, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you hanging out as always. Can't believe I'm here live for once on the East Coast. Is it time to play Nicky this weekend to face his former team? Nicky. Could we see a Nicky sighting for the Padres this weekend?
Look, if they clinch tomorrow, then you're probably seeing Nicky.
Right.
Like you're going to see probably a normal lineup. I don't know about Kimmy, but you'll see a normal lineup, and they'll play and get 1 at bat, and then they're going to all get replaced, or most of them will get replaced.
You're saying Saturday, Sunday? Saturday
or Sunday, if they can clinch tomorrow night, which is the ideal scenario.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Nick Ahmed might be on their postseason roster. He might not. I don't.
He hasn't had 1 appearance for this team.
Isn't that crazy? He's going to be like
for their celebration. Yeah, besides their celebration the other night.
Thank you again, though, for the super. Rice Child, appreciate you as well. Should we have walked Ohtani sooner than later? I mean, you could make an argument. There's probably a very legitimate argument. We just had Dan Szymborski on. I could ask him if he's walked every single plate appearance, is that actually better? Do you have a better chance of beating the Dodgers by putting Ohtani on every plate appearance as opposed to facing him? But, I mean, I don't know. That wasn't my takeaway tonight. Like, you're going to walk him with 2 on at first and second? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, when the top of the Dodgers lineups goes 6 for 13 with 3 RBIs, like,
their whole team
in there.
Yeah, like we're talking about, it's not like you can just work around Shohei Ohtani. This isn't the LA Angels.
Right, because it's what they – I don't know how long Ohtani's been leading off for them, but, I mean, Dave Roberts actually made a smart move there, and it probably is not Dave's call. It's like the analytics department having Ohtani hit first for you leading off. It's kind of like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't,
I mean, the reason I just like it in general is because the odds suggest he will get the additional plate appearance. So, he's getting a lot of 5 plate appearance games because he's the first batter in the lineup. So he's the 37th batter over the course of a game, which gives you 5 plate appearances. He'll never have a game without 4 because he's leading off. So,
and if you hit him third or even second, like, I don't know, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, again, and that also speaks to he's been on base a lot. He's at the top of their lineup. It gives him a chance to run. There's not guys on in front of him to start games. It's worked out, clearly. Every so often, thank you for the super. He says, Arise lead for batting champ is getting low. Yeah, we just touched on, what is it? He's hitting 312. I don't know.
Ozuna's hitting 310 this year.
Who is?
Marcell Ozuna's hitting 310.
Yeah, so he can easily lose it. And he could lose it tomorrow. So, I mean, he's going to hold on by the skin of his teeth if he's able to do it. He's going to need a good series. He's going to need a couple hits minimum in the series.
You have Arise hitting 312, Ozuna's hitting 310, Ohtani's hitting 305.
He's going to need a couple hits in the series. I know that, if not more. but he'll definitely need a couple hits in the series.
Yep.
High Note Music, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. And again, guys, if you're here, please subscribe here on Content for Padres fans, and thank you for the supers. Click the $ below the chat box if you want to support and see your comment on screen. He says he's concerned with our offense. Last 2-3 weeks seems like we can barely score 3 runs. Where's Merrill madness, Arise consistency, clutch hitting? Concern. All fair. You know, it's I don't know, Jim. If you looked at the last 20 Padres games, how many times have they scored more than 3 runs? There's a good number of games they've scored more than 3 runs in the last 20 games. But is that anecdotal? Is that actual that they haven't been scoring for the last 3 weeks?
I mean, they scored 6 runs last Saturday night against the White Sox. They put up an 8 spot against the Giants on the road. They won 5-0 that Friday night. They beat Seattle in game 1, 7-3. I mean, they're putting up runs. I mean, it's not like they're going. It's not like I'm not seeing a trend here of like 1 run, 2 runs, 2 runs, 2 runs, 1 run. You know, like scored 4 on Tuesday, 3 last night, 2 tonight. Not great, obviously. But they're still scoring runs. They might not be scoring at this like high clip that you want them to, but I think the more concerning part is the runners in the scoring position. I mean, that's just 0 for 10 tonight. 0 for 10. And as Darnay, who is, bro, I didn't do anything to you. Why you got to go that far on me on Twitter?
What are you doing? Oh, you're talking about the Niners thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, he went a little, you said Debbie Downer.
He's running hard. He's like, the Niners are 1-2 and your star players in Germany. Like, bro, what the fuck? Yeah, I mean, their last 10 games, won 14 for 75 with runners in scoring position. That's last year's team, not this year's team.
All these teams over 10 games have had that stretch. You just hope they snap out of it before, you know, it's quote unquote too late or before the postseason starts. Every so often, thank you. He says, not sure if said before, Merrill National League Rookie of the Year odds died.
Are you a Dodger troll?
What are the Merrill Rookie of the Year odds? Because I haven't looked. National League Rookie of the Year odds.
Did Skeens throw like a shutout tonight that I missed or something? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, they obviously haven't died. I mean, I know that. Wow. I'm looking at covers.com. Paul Skeens is -140. Jackson Merrill's +115. So it's tight.
It's tight.
That happened quick.
But I mean, Merrill's should win it. I don't. If Merrill doesn't win Rookie of the Year, what are we doing here?
I agree with that. I mean, he's still, but it's a little bit of like a who's got the bigger brand? Is it still Skeens or is it Merrill? And nationally, is
but who's had the better year? Like, I don't care about brand. I don't know if
that matters. The people
that should matter. That's the only thing that should matter.
In Milwaukee.
We had Dan. Well, I'll just say this: we had Dan Zamborski on a Fangraphs. He does.
He wouldn't say he was voting for.
No, he wouldn't. But he kind of told us without telling us, saying that that I mean, Merrill to him, he was leaning towards like so.
No, he didn't say that.
But he said Merrill. No. That was what's his name? Oh my God, I'm blanking on. Mike Farron, maybe. Sorry.
Yeah,
it was Mike Farron. Sorry,
Dan Zamborski did not. When I listened to that answer, I was like, oh, it sounded like it could go either way.
Man, there are going to be a lot of angry people if that does not.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I agree with that. And again, it's a draft pick on the line for the Padres and a high draft pick on the line.
Same thing with the Pirates.
Yeah, no, good point. That's interesting. That's something to keep an eye on. It's probably Hayes in the barn. I don't know if the National League Rookie of the Year is going to change based on what he does this weekend now that the West has been decided. Slot ain't easy. Thank you for the super. Saying they are podcasting because at the end of the day, they all make millions and still sleep great at night. I'm sure they aren't sweating losing. I've made this point before. I mean, I hate to make it that bluntly, but some of it is probably true. I mean, do they want to win? Of course they want to win. Do the Padres want to win the World Series? It's laughable to say they don't. Do the Dodgers not want to win? Of course they want to win. That's so stupid. But, if they don't win, they have good jobs. That's for sure. They have nice off seasons.
Right. They don't win. Guess what's happening like 2 days later? They're in Cancun or the Bahamas.
Yeah. On like a 68-foot yacht.
Right. So they care.
They care.
They care,
especially this time of year.
They care, but
you got legacies.
Yeah,
it's
much easier. I feel like for them to get over bad losses than it is for like a fan.
Right. I tend to agree with that. All right, we're going to get back to the conversation in a moment. We do want to thank our title sponsor here on the Wrap Up Show, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. He's been with us since day one, which is 3+ years ago now on YouTube. So if you need any insurance, Mark is there for you. He could save you $750 or more just by switching your insurance over to him. I have 3 insurance policies with Mark, have for years: life insurance, homeowners, and earthquake insurance, and you can as well. He does auto as well, and much, much more. You can click the link in the description down below to get to his website. But I had to file a claim a couple of years ago, and he saved us so much time and money, and he's got great service and communication, and that's what separates him from other insurance agents. Plus, he's a lifelong Padres fan and a native San Diegan. So if you support the channel, please get in contact with Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. He will save you money on your car insurance. He'll talk to you about the Padres as well. And you can click that link in the description down below to get free quotes online.
Yeah, all his information's on that ticker below, mnimitz@farmersagent.com, and you reach out to Mark, let him know that John and Jim from the Wrap Up Show sent you.
All right, back to some of these super chats, guys. Please subscribe. We're here for you as the postseason will begin in just a handful of days. And thank you for the super chats as well, like this one from HBBV, who says Snooki was curious in what Tatis swimming. Okay, next super chat, but thank you.
You always like hot. What's going on here, dude? I mean, I appreciate you watching the show, but like I don't understand like 95% of the things you
no, I don't know if anyone does. That's what makes it so great.
I don't know, man.
Every so often says Nick Ahmed going to go 2022 playoffs. Grisham, can you imagine like if in the wild card round Ahmed hits like 2 homers?
He's like 6 for 12 with 2 home runs and like 3 doubles.
How could he get 12 ABs in the wild card round? He might pinch hit.
Oh my God.
I mean, he's not even going to do that. He might come on defensively. I mean, I don't even know what this guy looks like at this point.
I saw him celebrating. I was like, who's that guy?
Who is that guy? JD Gacho, appreciate you. He says, of course, Nando and Mookie downed a couple of Stellas. Did they?
Okay.
Thank you. Richard, appreciate you. He says, you won't find a Manny jersey in my closet. I have a lot of respect for him and Tatis. Merrill is a stud. To go from shortstop to playing elite center field is insane. Appreciate you, Richard. And, Richard's a lifelong Dodger fan, but he's a supporter of the channel and always in the chat and supports the Wrap Up Show. I mean, it's been a good series. I think people that are measured and level-headed, I think Dodger fans understand the Padres are improved from where they've been previously. I think Padres fans understand, despite the fact that the Dodgers aren't going to win 110 games, Jim, they're still capable, obviously, in the postseason. So now it's all counts. It gets real next week, and we'll see. I mean, only one of these teams is going to be standing at some point coming up in the next couple of weeks. If either of them, truthfully, there's no guarantee the Padres or the Dodgers even make the National League Championship Series. I don't think that's guaranteed as we sit here right now. So I don't know what's going to happen. I think you got 2 good teams in the Padres and the Dodgers, and I don't know what's going to happen if they meet in the postseason, truthfully.
The odds of them meeting in the postseason, though, are
pretty good,
fairly high.
Yep. It'll be the 3rd time in 5 years.
Yeah. Looks like the Dodgers, they control their own destiny for the 1 seed, right? Am I right on that?
Phillies are 94 and 65, and the Dodgers are 95 and 64. So you are correct. I don't know what the tiebreaker is there, but they've got 1 game on the Phillies.
Okay. So where the Padres are at, that 4-5 matchup right now.
Yeah, that's right.
That just leads you right into another series versus the Dodgers starting next Saturday at Dodger Stadium.
That's exactly right.
Do I like it? No. Am I kind of annoyed with it? Yeah, but bring them on. But again, reel it back, Jim. They got to get through the wild card round first. That's obviously the most important thing, and we will not be looking that far ahead come Tuesday. Come Sunday night. It's
all about that series.
All about that series. All about Tuesday and who they face. And we might not even know till Monday night, to be honest with you.
The Dodgers are 1-5 against Philadelphia, which also speaks to the importance of home field. If you're 1-5 against a team, you don't want to start a series without home field advantage. I know that. So that's it. So basically the only guarantee for the Dodgers to clinch the 1 is 3 straight wins in Colorado. Possible.
That's
but
interesting.
not guaranteed. I don't know. Of course, the Phillies, I don't know what they'll do their last 3 games either. Stephen, thank you for the generous super chat. We appreciate you. He says, let's see if the postseason starts on time. Hurricane Helene might do some strange things to the start dates. That's a really good point. That is a really interesting point. Has it even, I think it's maybe made landfall or is in the Tallahassee area. And then I don't know what happens from there. But we've already seen what's impacted. It's impacted the Braves and the Mets, and that's huge for Major League Baseball and the postseason. So that's something to consider in the days ahead. Absolutely.
Well, it won't impact the Padres most likely.
No, shouldn't.
Not at least next Tuesday, and hopefully they lock up that 4 seed sooner rather than later.
Have you seen any on this landfall is like a category 4? I mean, this thing's a thing's a beast.
I have
and
not
it's
seen
like
anything.
It's a problem. It's a problem. Evan, thank you again. He says Shohei has 10 hits in his last 11 ABs with runners in scoring position. Yep.
It's ridiculous.
But that means he's not 11 for 11, so he's kind of struggled.
Although
the Padres are like 0 for their last 11 in those spots. The Fiery Friar, thank you. He says, I don't trust my emotions right now. When we win, I feel we're the best team in baseball. And when we lose, I feel like everything is falling apart. And it's
a fan.
That's where that's where we're like fans.
Yeah.
But the truth is they're obviously somewhere in between. You know, they're not always the best. They're not always the worst. They're somewhere in between. I think on a good day, they're really good. You know, like I think most days they're really good. So hopefully the team we see in the postseason is the really good version of the San Diego Padres.
That's why we're here for you, to talk you off that ledge. Like, trust me, if we thought there was a major problem here, then we would tell you.
We'd be freaking out.
We'd be freaking out. But look at us. We're not freaking out. Right. I get it. Like, team loses, it's the worst. The season's over. It's done. They're getting swept in the wild card. It's over. Like that. But we're here to tell you, like, don't. It's fine. It's okay. You know, it's disappointing.
It's okay.
It's okay.
I think it's like sometimes you get like, I mean, what's the saying with baseball? It's humbling. I think sometimes you get like a dose of it. I mean, the way they were playing in the second half, I mean, imagine if they went into Dodger Stadium and swept the Dodgers. At some point, you'd be like, pinch me. Like, is this even real? That's how well they had been playing. So they're only a couple of games away from being like playing out of their freaking minds. So they played a good team on the road and they got beat 2 out of 3 games. They still clinched a postseason spot, and they're still positioned to be the 4 seed. I mean, it's not sky is falling time, in my opinion.
Like, imagine this. Like, what if it was flipped? What if, I mean, I'm knocking on all the wood here, but say ex-Padres player that was important to the team rolled his ankle like Freddie Freeman did tonight, running up the first baseline. Then it's like, oh, shit. But that didn't happen. So, you know, you lost the game, and you lost the division, but also that's not a surprise to anybody. If you asked me at the start of the season, who would win the division? 100 out of 100 people say the Dodgers. And you took them to truthfully, the last series of the year and made the Dodgers have to work for it. And to that, the Padres should get credit. But at the same time, if you are sitting here and you're thinking to yourself, like, yeah, that was disappointing because they had it right there. They could control their own destiny and they didn't get it done, you know, but it's just because they didn't win the division. They're still won 90 plus games. They're going to be in the wild card. They're going to be in the postseason, and most likely they're going to have home field. Like, sign me up. I'm good. Let's go.
Yeah, no, I completely, again, this isn't the time. I said this yesterday, I think on John and Jim, this isn't the time. And I get it. We're all fans. So like, and it's great to be converse in the chat, Padres fans, Dodgers fans, whatever. This isn't the time to be overly celebratory or pessimistic. Like, okay, the Dodgers won the division. Good accomplishment. And what does it mean if they don't win next week? Okay, the Padres have lost 2 straight. Not ideal. But what if they do win next week? Like, this is the measured season. Like, you get too high, too low right now. What is that worth? What is it worth to be playing your best baseball and then fall flat on Tuesday? And what is it worth if you're playing terribly, but then you win on Tuesday? Tuesday means everything. You like to think that it all adds up to your earlier point. Like, hey, playing well means you will keep playing well, or playing poorly means you're not going to. It doesn't work like that. And I can't predict what's going to happen Tuesday at Petco Park. I do know there'll be 47,000 people or something like that there, assuming they have home field. And hopefully they just put the whole thing together beginning on Tuesday. behind, Dylan Cease, and you get an early lead and you hold the damn thing. Now, you've made the point too that they're built to win multiple ways. They don't have to jump out on someone 3-0 to win. They can fall behind 2-0 and win. They've done it time and time again. I don't love that approach in the postseason, but I understand it may happen. So they're built to win multiple ways, and I'm trusting in them. Even off the last 2 days, I'm trusting in them that they'll get this thing fully figured out come Tuesday at home, hopefully at home.
Right. And the truth here is, guess who has all the pressure on them in the postseason? The Dodgers. The Dodgers have the most pressure of any team in baseball in the postseason to win.
Yeah.
So going into the postseason, the Padres will be favored in the wild card round, whoever they face, if they have home field, which they're probably going to. And then from that point on, if they get past the wild card round, then they're going to be the gritty underdogs. And you're going to be going up against teams that are going to be favored over the Padres. And if you face the Dodgers, then all the pressure's on them. They're expected to win. They have to win. They're the $1 billion, payroll. They got the $1 billion player. They've spent all this money. They're bought, not built. They're not the gritty underdogs. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. They are expected and the favorites to win the World Series. End of story. So, and I'm not afraid of them. That's pretty much where I was going at it. I'm not afraid.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree completely with that. I mean, if they do play, I don't think either team goes into it like
scared of one another.
Well, it's funny I say that, and this will probably freak some people out in the chat that are Dodger fans. If I were to say, and this is my completely unbiased feeling here, and you could say you do a Padres channel, you're just saying that. If one of the two teams would be scared of the other, wouldn't you easily make the case it would be the Dodgers scared of the Padres? And hear me out. They've won the season series. They beat you in this same round in 2022. You lost in this round in 2023. You have all the pressure of the world off $1 billion offseason. Like, you have to be thinking about that when you put your head on the pillow the night before that series begins. If it's Padres Dodgers and you're a Dodger, you're thinking, the Padres, they played us pretty well. And wait, I was here a couple of years ago and we lost that series. And man, we got to show up, and this is the big hurdle. I would think about it from that perspective. If I'm a Dodger fan, I'm thinking that best of 5 series that I'm playing is potentially the biggest hurdle between me winning or not winning a World Series. Because you get through it, you got a 7-game series, you take a deep breath, you could lose a game 1 and steamroll someone still in a series. But those 5-game series, everything is just so tight, and they haven't played in 6 days either in that situation as well. I just think that I'm not saying, make no mistake, I'm not saying the Padres will beat the Dodgers in the postseason. I have no idea. And I'm not saying the Dodgers aren't capable of beating the Padres. That's the last thing I'm saying. I'm just saying when you add it all up, it's a little bit of a scary proposition. I think that's fair. And I bet a lot of Dodger fans feel that same way if that's how it plays out.
Well, what round would you rather face the Dodgers in, the division round or the CS?
That is such a good question. I would probably take the longest series I could play against them, because I think their pitching is more apt to be exposed than San Diego's. So I would like to believe that 3rd, 4th starters and consistently getting to softer parts of their bullpen could reap more rewards. So I'd want to do it more often as opposed to less often. Where previously, if you told me in 2022, I'd be like, shorten the damn series up. Just find a way to beat them in a best of 1, best of 3, best of 5. I don't really have a big problem with playing them in a longer series. Agree?
Yeah, I mean,
or do you think there's an inevitability with Ohtani? Okay, you could keep him at bay for 2 games, but all of a sudden Ohtani's going to have that 3-hit, 2-homer game, and you can't keep him at bay for a long series.
The one thing about a long series too is your bullpen potentially your top guys could get extremely taxed, and by the end of that series, it's like, holy shit, they just worked 5 out of 6 games here.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I mean, this isn't a good take from Raymond. Cease and Musgrove were exposed. No, they weren't.
Did you watch the games, guys?
Yeah, it's they weren't so. That's the thing. Now, Padres bullpen, has the Padres bullpen been great in the series? No. But is the Padres bullpen capable? We've seen it with our eyes. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very capable.
Yeah, and I'm
Interesting.
I'm just anxious to see like what their matchup's going to be. Like I just want to know that now.
Mhm.
I want to know if it's Arizona or the Mets or the Braves. If it's one of those two teams, they're going to be on fumes, and that series will feel scary because then you go into that series and you're like, the expectation level for them to win that series because of what the Braves and Mets just went through will be through the roof. So if they trail at any point in the game one, you're like, wait, what? And if they somehow like
Yep.
lost a game one, sky is falling.
Oh, absolutely. I want to call out Raymond one more time. And there's a million Dodger trolls I could call out if I wanted to, but I just saw this. He says the Dodgers had the pressure to win the division. How'd that go? There is no comparing 162 games against all clubs in baseball on some random May day against Chicago and being favored to win. Over 162 was never really a question. The fact that the Padres were in it, Raymond, honestly, is somewhat of an indictment on the Dodgers regular season. Let's be honest. There's no pressure over 162. Nobody thought they weren't going to win the division. There's truly no pressure. They've won the division before by 20, 30 games, right? Or 15, 20 games. I mean, they've won this thing by wide margins. There is no comparing regular season to pressure postseason.
Mhm.
None.
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 No.
Can't compare them.
No. And by the way, if the Dodgers didn't win the division, it would be one of the biggest disappointments
Like in baseball
in baseball
history?
history to go along with the 2023 Padres. They're there with you. But
True.
bigger than that, because the Dodgers spent $1 billion this offseason. $1 billion.
More than that. Yamamoto and Otani were $1 billion. Is Teoscar
Teoscar Hernandez.
last now? I mean,
Right.
you add up the dollars.
So here's the thing. They did what they were supposed to do. They won their division. Congratulations. Done it every single year for the last 11 out of 12 years. No legit World Series to show for it, but congratulations.
Correct.
Now they're expected to win the World Series. I bet you if you look at the odds come postseason time, they will be the favorites.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't win the World Series, that will as equally be disappointing for that team and in this grand scheme of baseball because of how much money they spent, who they went out and got, and nobody will say it was a good season for the Dodgers. Everybody will be laughing at them because once again, they didn't win a World Series.
You will never hear of the 50-50 season ever again if the Dodgers don't win the World Series. Like, it just doesn't have the same weight
All the pressure's on
without
them.
winning.
All the pressure's on them to win. All the pressure. We'll see how they perform. Dave Roberts, not really great under pressure, but we'll see.
If you want to take some of the pressure off, pick up a MOVA Globe.
Get a MOVA Globe.
Okay. And by the way, all these Dodger trolls, you can pick them up as well. Just use promo code PWS10 and get 10% off. They have Padres Globes and they've got all 30 teams officially licensed. This company's based in San Diego. This technology was founded actually right here in North County, Cardiff by the Sea. Amazing company. They got more than just the baseball globes. They got other sport globes. They've got planet globes, much more. They spin automatically with artificial or natural light. Really amazing products, great gift ideas, great for the home office or the work office. Your family's going to love them. You don't have to be a Padres fan or a Dodger fan. Pick them up as a gift idea for someone that's a baseball fan in your life. But again, if you want 10% off, click the link in the description down below and use promo code PWS10. Pick one up for the postseason. Promo code PWS10. Pick them up while you can. MOVA Globes. All 30 teams officially licensed, Jim.
Yeah, and Dodger trolls that are in the chat that have nothing better to do. If you want a Dodgers MOVA Globe, congratulations. MOVA Globe has a Dodger one. And you're lucky because we're giving you
see it?
a
I'll show
promo
it to
code
you.
for it. So use our promo code to pick up a Dodgers MOVA Globe because you're in the chat and you're trolling. So go pick one up now.
Yep. Here they are. Ooh, let's see. MLB. Look at that. Look at that. You can't see it. MOVA Globes spinning.
Yeah, it's kind of ugly, to be honest with you. Actually, it's really ugly. Like, if you were to ask me how I would like. I mean, it's just like I'm looking at all these Mova Globes, and like the Yankees one's really cool with the pinstripes. You know, the Giants, the Astros, the Red Sox, the Cubs is a good one. And I'm just looking at the Dodgers. I'm like, that's disgusting. But pick one up now. It's fine.
Yeah, Michael, who's a huge who's with Mova Globes and a huge supporter of the channel. Jim brings up a good point. Has anyone ever bought a Dodgers Mova Globe? Or are they just all sitting on the shelves?
I think a couple of people in our chat have bought Dodger Mova Globes.
Okay. Pick them up while they're available. Get them for the postseason.
I just want to let you guys know. I just want to let every Dodger troll know that's watching this channel right now. You don't affect us. Like that's the funny part.
You actually, I mean, I've taken people. You actually help us, is what you're doing.
Like, I don't give two shits how much you troll. I actually think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. You don't make me mad at all. You don't affect me. You don't get under my skin. I think it's hilarious. So go ahead and
the
continue.
Show. Watch every second of the show. Do not go anywhere.
Like, this is funny. This is fun. You guys are amateur Skip Bayless Water Pistol Pete's. That's funny, dude.
Ponton, if that's your real name, just stay here.
It's funny.
Keep watching.
What else is these people saying in the chat?
You don't affect us yet. 10 minutes is about them. Javi, you're right.
We're laughing at you. We are legitimately laughing at you.
Wait until you hear what we say in 30 minutes, but don't go anywhere. Make sure you stick around for all 30 minutes coming up, Javi. Do not leave. Do not.
Oh, man.
Definitely don't leave. Let me get to the super that just rolled in. Again, if you're here year-round content for Padres fans, subscribe, smash the like button. You can follow us on X at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. And we appreciate the super chats like this one from Dave Gutierrez. Thank you, man. He says, Joe, Estrada, Adam Scott. We had it locked without Suarez because Joe went 6. Mike's historic questionable bullpen management makes me clench for the postseason. What are you talking about? Mike's historic questionable bullpen management. Dave, what are you talking about? Give me the example. You didn't want him to face Ohtani today. You didn't want Musgrove starting the 7th inning. You didn't want Tanner Scott. What did you not want? They lost the game.
Historic? I don't.
Historic. All Padres fans did last year was criticize Bob Melvin. All Padres fans did in 2021 was criticize Jace Tingler. All Padres fans did in 2019 was criticize Andy Green. Don't tell me that Mike Schild is a worse in-game manager than those managers.
Mike Schilt has every team that he has managed has gone to the postseason, if I'm not correct, right?
I think that's right. He's taken every. Yeah, it's like 4 out of 5 years, or I don't know what it is.
Maybe it's 5. It's 3 straight with the Cardinals,
right? But he was an interim and then 3 straight, maybe.
Or was he an interim and then 2 years and then he got fired?
I don't know.
I forget, but I'm pretty sure that every team he's managed has won over 90 games. Now, in the postseason, he is not. I mean, he's not gone to a World Series. He's not won a World Series. But I would have to go back and see what he did in a Cardinals uniform, if it was like egregious or not. I mean, it's really hard to say that he has had historic bullpen mistakes this year.
Like this, Hot Town Lava said, John, what are you talking about? Schild has overused his bullpen constantly. Overused, all they do is win. Who did you want him pitching with 3-1 leads all summer?
They're 42 and like 19 in the second half.
It's like, man, remember that whole Kevin Acee, that back and forth, that like tit for tat?
Yeah.
Like, hey, do you wish you could have larger leads? I mean, you don't want them using high leverage relievers they've acquired at the trade deadline with leads. Then what do you want them doing? Isn't that the point of making these acquisitions?
Right. You traded for Scott and you traded for Adam to use
and they've been
them.
Great.
Right. You're not going to be like, fuck, we need to use Yuki Matsui more. They haven't used Yuki Matsui since September 7th.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, historically bad or questionable bullpen management. What are we talking about? Historic. You want to know what's historic? The Padres' second half. They've never done it in their history. That's called historic. They've never had a better winning percentage by half than what they've had right now.
We'll see come postseason how it shapes up.
HBBV, we didn't miss your super chat. It's because you were being an idiot. So I'm not gonna pull up ridiculous super chats. So I mean, just because you contributed, you can't say like anything. So we didn't miss anything.
Hold on real quick. Hey, Peyton.
Pant.
Not anymore.
Oh yeah, people probably forget about that too. We could just block whoever we want,
Yeah, peace out, bye.
which is sometimes fun. Which we, by the way, rarely do. How many people have we probably
I think I might have put him in timeout instead of banned him. Don't worry. Next comment I see from you, buddy, you're gone. This is my chat now. No, it's not.
Oh my gosh. I mean,
Anyway.
again, it's like to be so. This isn't the day. I said it when the Padres clinched. It's not the day to be like, we're better than the Dodgers. And today's not the day if you're a Dodger fan to be like, we won the World Series. That's just like stupid.
It's not. Yeah, I mean, if you're a Padres fan, like, yeah, disappointing. Like, this series was disappointing. Like, the triple play was great. I mean, truthfully, without the triple play, they get swept.
Yeah, probably.
So,
but I love when people say it. Like, I had people like trolling me on social media, like, without the triple play, you get swept. I'm like, yep, but guess what?
It
was a triple play.
A triple play.
It's like, yeah, it's like, okay, the 1960 World Series, the Pirates were outscored by 30 runs. They won the World Series. Okay,
right. Yeah, if I didn't spend $3,000 on a new MacBook, I wouldn't have
You'd
MacBook.
have $3,000. Exactly. It's like certain things are
yeah.
like, I love when people are like, they got lucky to win some game. Okay, they won. I
That's
mean,
fucking sport. Like,
yeah,
like a lot of it has to do with luck.
Yeah, exactly. There's like some factors outside of control.
Do you think the New York Giants team that beat the undefeated Patriots is like, man, we only won because we were lucky of the David Tyree catch?
Right. And they also, if they would have played that game 20 times, I don't think the Giants are going to win like 15 of them. You know, it was one moment in time.
Giants fans are like, I can't. We only got lucky.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
exactly.
Stop.
I can't wait for the postseason. I really can't.
God, I can't wait, dude.
But again, it's hard to be overly like, you know, we'll just see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
We'll see.
What time are you leaving tomorrow morning?
5:45 in the morning.
Ew, why?
Because we're flying across America.
What time are you getting in?
Well, we're not leaving. Like, the plane isn't taking off at 5:45 in the morning. I'm going to get to campus.
What time does the plane leave?
Probably in the 7s. So you're 3 hours ahead. That's the 10s in Michigan. Add 4 hours. Now you're landing in the 2s or 3s, and now you got to drive an hour. And now it's the 4s or 5s, and then you play the next day at 3:30. You know what I mean? Like, you'd like to have 20 hours on the ground, probably. You don't want to have 10 hours on the ground.
Okay.
Would you want to do operations for? Hold on. Let me get you. Let me send your resume.
Give me Jamie's number.
Well, no, I sent it to JD Wicker. Hold on. Let me get your resume.
Come on. I'll tell you what to do.
Hold on.
No.
Let me text JD. Jim has a straight up kid. Jim thinks we should leave in the afternoon.
Right. Well, I will not be available for the wrap-up show tomorrow night.
Oh, that's the thing with the wrap-up show tomorrow night. Because you know me and my loyalty to this damn channel, I will do a wrap-up show tomorrow night. Now, I'll be in a hotel room in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, and it'll be midnight Eastern, and I'll do it win or lose. So with me saying that, you better be here tomorrow night. Not you, Jim, but like you, Padres fans.
Yeah, I'm going to a wedding. We are going up north.
Where is it?
It's in Carlsbad. So we got a hotel room for tomorrow night, and then the wedding's on Saturday. So we're staying up there 2 nights. I know. It's soft. I get it. It's fine.
Darnay, how about you unleashing on Jim on social
this is Darnay. I didn't even realize that. I just saw that soft.
Jim doesn't know how to read.
I just saw soft. I was like, oh, that's soft. What is that picture, by the way, of you? Are you like sipping, like smelling wine? Is that
your wedding?
Are you smelling wine? What is that
wedding.
Picture? It looks like you're smelling like.
He looks like a sommelier or whatever.
Interesting. Sipping champagne exactly at a wedding in Austin, fellas.
Wait, you're going to a wedding in Carlsbad?
I am, yes.
Whose wedding?
One of Aaron's work friends.
Oh, must be nice. Are you staying over in Carlsbad?
Yeah, we're staying Friday and Saturday night.
Oh, okay. I guess.
Oh, it
things
must
are
be
great.
nice
You're
how the other half live.
Yeah, hey, let's buy $3,000 laptops and spend the weekend in Carlsbad. Yeah, everything. Jeez, I'd love to see your freaking Wells Fargo account right now.
It's not great. It's like in the red, bro.
Man, you must really have
I'm
invested
eating
well.
ramen every night.
A couple nights in Carlsbad, $3,000 MacBook Pro.
It's fine. Yeah, we'll just go out to a nice fancy dinner tomorrow night.
Yeah,
It's okay.
sure, you won't spend any money up there.
No.
Why don't you go to the forum? The shops at the forum.
Yeah,
Buy some. Go to Viore.
We're gonna hit up the La Jolla outlet mall or the outlet up in La Jolla real quick. And
There's no outlet in La Jolla.
well, the shopping center in La Jolla, the shopping whatever places.
Which one's that?
There's a really nice Viore over there. There's like another like fancy places to go shopping. Yeah.
Now I'm curious. Seriously, where are you talking about? Viore in La Jolla?
Yeah, there's a Viore in La Jolla, like a smaller Viore place.
Del Mar Highlands?
I don't know.
There's a Viore in La Jolla?
The UTC? I don't know. There's a Viore in La Jolla.
Okay.
Well, it must be nice. Yeah.
We should start let me see. Oh, that one? Oh, there's a legit Viore in La Jolla.
You're correct.
Let me get back to some of these supers. Hold on. Oh, Maction Talk. Okay. JD Gaucho, thank you.
John's so happy about this.
He says, is anyone want to talk Memphis? I mean, love some
John, you're the person like, hey, you want to talk about this with me? And everyone's like, no, I don't want to talk about this with you.
He says, love some action. Las Vegas Bowl started out as the matchup between the Big West and the MAC. Big West doesn't even have football anymore. So I love that. Thank you, JD Gaucho. Hold on real quick. What are people saying here? Downtown La Jolla. Okay, yeah. I'm just looking at the chat. Darnay, what are you doing here? Oh, this is a good question. Can you answer this?
What was more expensive, the laptop of the honeymoon?
Or
I know. To be honest with you,
the laptop.
The laptop.
You're an idiot.
No, I'm gonna go return it.
Look at this.
Yeah, because I'll be with my wife and John will be like alone.
You're with your wife every freaking second and she has to deal with this show.
Okay, you literally don't understand. If
she'd kill you.
I do a wrap-up show on a weekend where like we plan to like have just like a little getaway before the postseason started. And also because they were going to a wedding, I won't be available to do post-game wrap-up shows.
What if tomorrow night was a clincher for the Padres?
Well, thankfully it's not.
I know. Hypothetically.
And if it was, I probably still wouldn't be on the show.
What if it was a division and it was a perfect game?
God.
It was a Musgrove perfect game. And then after the game, he like started like cursing you out.
I like how someone's like, you're a simp. I'm fucking married, dude. It's my wife. Simp. It's my wife, dude. Oh, it's fun.
So good. What are we talking about?
Oh shit. Oh,
NIU,
great. Yeah, NIU
Toledo talk. NIU Toledo talk. This is now an NIU Toledo channel.
Great. Click.
Did you read this Brett McMurphy tweet?
I don't care. I literally don't care. I don't care. I'm done. I don't give a shit. Did you read this Brett McMurphy? No, I didn't read the Brett McMurphy tweet. I don't care.
Dude, I kid you not. Hear me out for 1 second.
Oh my God, dude.
Hear me out. We've gone off the rail. Hear me out.
Oh shit.
You know the freaking Memphis AD that we played today?
Yes.
The Memphis Commercial Appeal, which is their newspaper, I think, posted the full 24 minute.
And you watch every minute of it, right? You fucking did. Of course you did. You watch every minute of that stupid press conference.
I thought it was pretty interesting.
It was not interesting. Nobody finds it interesting but you.
Holy shit.
Oh, she's not the wife. You're the wife. Okay. Okay, Mr. B.
Where's your freaking wrap-up show?
Yeah,
Jill?
Are you single? Or are you married?
Oh,
What's going on
God.
here?
What is happening? Real quick before we get out of here, can someone sign up for Underdog Fantasy?
We're not even doing a read. We're just like, please sign up.
Just use promo code PODSWRAP. Just do it for us.
Seriously.
Promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP, 50% deposit match up to $1,000. Their best offer yet. They got a great NFL discount going on with the pick'em this weekend. Patrick Mahomes over a half yard, which me and Jim are both confident in that happening. So you get the discounted pick, you get the 50% deposit match. You can play across multiple sports, NFL, college football, Major League Baseball. Play this weekend, Padres pick'ems. They're in Arizona. Simple higher or lowers, higher or lower than a half total base or 4.5 strikeouts, so on and so forth. So Underdog Fantasy, click the link in the description down below. Use promo code PADSWRAP and get that 50% deposit match up to $1,000.
Yeah, there's a promo code right here. So click the promo code or scan the promo code or
it's not a promo code, it's a QR code.
QR code. There's the QR code. Download the Underdog Fantasy app right now. Promo code PODSWRAP.
I think we should go. Now, am I going to wake up? I need to. I mean, I'm going to wake up.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But I mean, am I going to be up for this early morning flight? Yeah.
I just want to know, will you or will you not in the next 35 minutes find your way onto a college football realignment thread of some sort?
35 minutes or seconds? I'm already have all kinds of searches set up.
Oh my God.
I like to have the information.
That's what is your entire plane ride tomorrow going to involve listening to podcasts?
No, I got to prep. I'm just doing the getting ready for the game.
You're behind.
Well, I mean, I do this show every night with you. I have a freaking day job with you. I'm on campus doing stuff during the day. I have a 5-year-old child. I have a wife. I like to eat meals. I have a car that I drive. I don't know what that means, but I mean, like, there's only so many minutes. And sure, did I take 24 minutes out of my day to watch Ed Scott and his press conference from Memphis today on the Commercial Appeal website? I did.
See, then that's on you because that's 24 minutes of your time that you could have used to be prepping. Instead, you watched a Memphis AD for 24 minutes.
But with it being a bye week, I had a little bit of extra time over the course of the weekend, so I was able to get ahead. That afforded me the 24 minutes.
Let's be real here. If you have the opportunity sitting down at a desk,
okay,
in front of you is you had 24 minutes. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
If you use that, you have the Memphis AD talking for 24 minutes, or you prep for 24 minutes. That's all the time you get. 24 minutes. What are you choosing? Exactly.
No. I'm gonna be.
You'll go 12 minutes prep and then 12 minutes speed through the AD, right?
Yeah, exactly. I would have gone 1.5 speed, which I do all the time.
Wrap it up.
I love the 1.5 speed. 1.25. I love it. Cool. You think? Surprise.
Tell me this is your first time watching the channel without telling me it's your first time watching the channel.
The truth is 95% of the time we're on topic. You get past an hour.
Cole must have not been here for the great Washington State, San Jose State night.
Oh, my, dude, we spent 40 minutes watching some random Friday night game last week, I think.
We had like 340 people with us.
I mean, it was a pretty good game, truthfully.
It's a great game.
All right, let's get out of here. New guy.
Exactly.
Troll guy. All right, guys. Join me from Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Who wants to see what my hotel room looks like tomorrow night? Join us. Following game 1, Padres Diamondbacks. They could clinch the 4th seed tomorrow with a win and a Mets loss. I think that's right. They clinch with a win and a Mets loss. So root for that. See you tomorrow for the wrap-up show from Mount Pleasant, Michigan, following game 1 of the Padres and the D-backs. Please subscribe. You're on content for Padres fans. Again, I mean, I'm doing this thing for Michigan. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Smash the like button for us. Follow us on X at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Appreciate the super thanks if you're here on replay. Thank you to our partners, Mark Nimitz, the title sponsor of the wrap-up show from Farmers Insurance. If you have an insurance need, let Mark hook you up. He'll save you money. He's a great insurance agent. Mova Globes. Enough said. Promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. And again, Underdog Fantasy, get that 50% deposit match up to $1,000. Use promo code. Hold on. The promo code for this is PWS10.
Correct.
I don't know what I said.
I don't know what you said either.
Promo code for Underdog is PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. Join Jim tomorrow at 3 p.m. on John and Jim. I'll call in maybe at some point, and then join me tomorrow night on the wrap-up show. That's weird. You're on John and Jim. I'm on the wrap-up show.
Hey, behind the curtain, I need you to text Cynthia Freeland. She hasn't texted me back yet.
I'm not texting Cynthia Freeland at midnight.
I meant like tomorrow, because I texted her and she hasn't texted me back.
That's because she probably blocked your number. Oh, you want me to text her for what time she come on? 4 p.m.?
Yeah, 4. I just want to
I
double.
thought you wanted me to text her to ask about this, that, or the other. You're asking about tomorrow's time?
Well, that too. I mean, the tomorrow time is number 1, but number 2 is like I want to make sure she got everything. But
So we're talking live on a channel about setting up an interview with our NFL guest for tomorrow at 4 p.m.
Correct. And then we have JB Long at 5:30, and then I'll text Kevin. So
oh yeah. So Kevin Acey's on John and Jim tomorrow. So tune in. Cynthia Freeland, NFL Network. If you like football, she'll join us.
4 o'clock.
And JB Long at 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's been fun.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.